Hello and welcome to Amethyst Style Crafting. My name is Jane Ormark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we are going to be playing with Winter Woods again. I absolutely love this stamp set. Anything to do with trees, oh, I just love. And we're using the Christmas tree here, and we're using the coordinating die, which cuts out the Christmas tree perfectly. And this comes in a bundle with some other other dies, and you can get 10% off at the moment, so that's really good. We need a standard card base, whatever it is internationally as well as UK, whatever. When you cut your sheet of, in the UK it's A4, in half to make your card, and then you get two, you're going to cut that, and then you're going to just take an inch off the edge. So you've got a sort of a slightly not quite perfectly folded card because you've got a piece missing off this side, so it's an inch piece. And then we are going to cut out, so we're stamping in Tranquil Tide, and we are going to stamp 5 of the trees and then die cut them out using the coordinating framelit. So we also need 2 scraps, and again it's not completely vital what size they are. They are about 3/4 of an inch, but they could be an inch, as long as they're just little strips. And this is 1 strip of a piece of 12 by 12 which I had over. It's the Joyous Noel, and we're going to use 1 that side and 1 that side, and the coordinating colour on it is Tranquil Tide, which will go perfectly. So what we're going to start off doing is to just adhere our little pieces. So we want 1 on the inside, and it's going to be that way. So let me just get some wet glue, because we might as well start with this bit because this is the easy bit. And let me just take, don't know whether I'm at the end of this glue or not, says me, always sort of not checking my glue before I start. Actually, I'm just going to open up a new one because it saves me fiddling about shaking it. I think there's just a little bit left in this one, but we'll open up a new one. As I say, I absolutely love our wet glue. I use it all the time, and it does last a long time. I just do a lot of crafting, so I do go through quite a bit. As I was saying to you, I'm making an advent calendar out of little 2 by 2 boxes, and that's taken quite a lot of glue. But I think it's going to be beautiful when it's finished, and I will let you see it when I've finished, because as I say, I'm quite proud of it. Now, this little piece we are just going to put down on the bottom here, lining it up with the edge, and just securing it down. If there's a tiny little bit over on the other side, you can take, my paper snips are on the other things. I'm going to use these terrible little scissors here, which I probably won't be able to get a sharp edge to, and just cut the little excess off, which is literally just a tiny sliver, but it's easier to do it that way. And then we're going to take the paper in the opposite direction. I love the fact that our DSP is double-sided, because you can use both sides, and particularly with something like this, it works really well when you're using one side and the other. And because everything coordinates and all our colours coordinate, it just makes everything look really good. So this time we're going to put it on this side, and I'm doing it a fraction out from the edge, just a fraction, because I don't want it to, when you open up, for it to catch. So we're just taking a fraction, and again you will see there's a tiny little piece on that side, so we are just going to take that little sliver. Can I see it because it's white? Yes. And we're just going to take that off the edge. So as I say, tiny little slivers, but it's easy to do it that way. So now we have our 2 pieces on there. Now we are going to take this one first, and we are going to line it up so that it comes just sort of slightly off the side, and we are going to only adhere half of it. So pick it up so you know which side you want to adhere, and we're just going to take some Tombow down on here, down on that seam. We don't want it to be over halfway because, well, otherwise we'll end up sticking it to the card. Now, you could take the whole of the card, and you could, hold on a second because I can't talk while I'm trying to concentrate, so I'm just going to get this up. We want it to come in from the edge that amount, and we want it to be fairly central, so we're just going to pop it in like this on here. Yes, what you can do is you can take the whole card through, and you can do a partial die cut, but because I wanted to put the other half of the tree on the inside, I didn't actually want to do the partial die cut because it would have given me just a little bit too much bulk. Now, this tree we can glue all the way round because it's going to be sticking onto the actual card itself, as well as onto the back of the tree that we've put onto the front of the card. So I'm just popping some glue all the way around here like that. And then we are going to line it up. Now, it isn't a perfect mirror image. You're not going to get a perfect mirror image with this, but as long as you can get it reasonably there and put it down, and then if you look at the other side, that's worked pretty well. And as I say, just sort of smooth it down. So you then have a tree so that when you come, and you could just do it like that as the card. That would be really pretty with a couple of sentiments and sort of embellish it a little bit more. But we're going to carry on. So I have now taken 3 of the trees, and exactly the same with the tree ornament that I did. Have a look back, I don't know, about a week or so. I did this tree ornament where you take the stamped and die cut image and you fold it exactly in half. Easiest to do it from the bottom and just manipulate the paper a little bit first before you fold it back, and then just burnish it well on both sides. Now, I've done 3 of these, and I'm going to move this out of the way because I want to do this bit first. So we are going to glue the sides of this down, making sure that the seam's done well, and then up onto those edges, just running your glue along. And then we are going to adhere this to this. Again, I find it easier to do it from the bottom and then just position it into the top, and then just sort of make sure that the outside, a bit like a paper aeroplane, is as level as you can get it. So you then have your 2 pieces, and then we are going to pop the 3rd one on. Now for this pop-up card, I think 3 is about right. I don't think, if you did any more, I think the bulk would be too much. So I think it'll work with just the 3. So let's have a go. We are going to just pop this one in on here like that. And again, line it up from the bottom. Wet glue is perfect with this because you can slide things into position before you commit yourself, and then again literally just press it through like that. Okay, so now we have the pop-up element that we want in the center of the card. Now, to put this on, we obviously want it to go like this, so that then when we close the card it will fold down nicely. So I'm just going to make sure, yep, that's going to fold down well. So if we line it up, now what I'm going to do is I am going to put glue across the back like this. And up through our little points. And make sure we've got a reasonable amount of glue down here on this centre seam. Because you're going to be opening and closing the card quite a bit. So you don't want it to pull out with opening and closing. So as I say, just glue all the way around, particularly at the little top piece as well, because it's quite small. And as I say, down on your centre seam. And then you are going to line it up as best as you can with the other tree that's already there. And then just pop it down in the centre like that. And then close your card over and just smooth it down. You will get a little bit of bulk because obviously you've got a pop-up going on in there, but open it down. Then when you open up your card, that hasn't quite stuck in on here, so let's make sure it's as you open it. You do need to leave the wet glue just for a second to close and open up, so let's just make sure that we've got it in on there. Close it sideways so that you know that when you open it, it is going to open up nice and flat, and then get your bone folder. As I say, I would turn around and probably leave this for just a few minutes for it to completely dry, but then you've got your lovely little pop-up coming through in the centre. So let's and we can obviously just ease that out. So as I say, rather fun sort of pop out on there. So we are going to just finish this off with a sentiment. Now, I think I'm going to use the Thinking of You this season on the front, and I'm going to carry on with the same coordination and use the Tranquil Tide. So now I should have actually done that before I've finished it. I always do things at the wrong time. I want to actually stamp this on here, so let's see if I can do it. If it goes higgledy-piggledy, then I will just actually cut out a sentiment and put it across on a dimensional. But I wanted to just sort of keep, as there's quite a lot of busyness inside the card, I wanted to keep it fairly simple. So have I got that? That looks completely non-straight. Not getting my grid paper out. So let's just try and get that straighter. We don't want to Thinking of You cockeyed. That looks a bit better. So ink it up. Now I'm going to try and put it on here. It might not work completely and my head is probably going to go in underneath, but I need to bring this down and then just put the sentiment in on the top here. Fingers crossed, and I never looked to see if it was the right way up, but hopefully, yes, there we go. So you've got Thinking of You this season. And then, as I say, when you open it up, you've got your pop out in the centre and you've got space for you to put your message inside. And as I say, you can now embellish the tree however you want. I'm not going to show you that because I just wanted to show you another way of using the pop-out design on the Winterwoods. So thank you very much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.